Some dreams live on in time forever. Those dreams you want with all your heart, and I'll do whatever it takes. Follow through with the promise I made. Put it all on the line. What I hope for at last would be mine. If I could reach higher, just for one moment touch the sky. From that one moment in my life, I'm gonna be stronger. Know that I've tried my very best and put my spirit to the test. If I could reach, some days are meant to be remembered. Those days we rise above the stars. And so I'll go the distance this time, seeing more the higher I climb.
Sok menaik saya sok.
Father, for our Lord Jesus Christ, send your Holy Spirit upon the graduating class of 2005. Be their helper and their guide. Give them the spirit of wisdom and understanding, spirit of right judgment and courage, spirit of knowledge and reverence, so that they may become men of compassion, integrity, men that will effect social change in our society. Lord, continue to bless our institution, that we might be relentless in our efforts to recreate a culture of excellence. Lord, continue to bless the parents gathered here today, that they might realize that they have a star and their job is to allow them to shine. Lord, as these students move on to the next stage of their academic life, give them the strength and the vitality to realize that they can do all things, Lord, to you who strengthen them. We offer this prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Good afternoon. Is it hot enough for everyone? Our bursar who's sitting, I won't tell you where she is, but she probably didn't pay the electrical bill today, so we don't have any air conditioning, but we'll work on it. My name is Father Michael Protera. I'm a member of the Society of Jesus. As chairman of the Board of Management, I'm delighted to welcome all of you to the graduation exercises 2005 at St. George's College. Since 1850, St. George's College has been educating young Jamaican men in the Jesuit tradition of education, a tradition of solid learning, Christian values, compassionate outreach, and strong leadership. Well, we have come to the end of another year, but not just any year. This is the year for Georgians 2005. Gentlemen, your desire and discipline these many years have paid off. And each of you is testimony to that culture of excellence, that Jesuit tradition of education here at St. George's. Congratulations. Welcome, graduates of 2005. Welcome, families and friends. Welcome, teachers and staff. Welcome, Principal Kennedy and his wife, Georgie. Welcome, members of the board. Welcome, director of our cathedral next door. And a special welcome to our guest speaker, Mr. Douglas Lorraine. Thank you.
The chairman of the school board, Principal Dr. Bert Kennedy, Honorable Senator Douglas Lorraine, the guest speaker, members of the administration, faculty and staff, parents, distinguished guests, and fellow graduates, I wish you all a pleasant afternoon. On behalf of the entire fifth form, it is my great honor to welcome you to our graduation ceremony of 2005. Indeed, it is my pleasure to introduce you to our graduating class. Today, we are one body of happy students who have achieved one of our goals in life, to graduate. St. George's College has provided us most for 5 years with quality teaching and resources. We have all developed academically, spiritually, and socially throughout the years and have been thoroughly prepared to be unleashed into the world as proud Georgians. At this ceremony, you will get the opportunity to observe a cadre of distinguished gentlemen being honored for their astute, ardent, and assiduous service and their intellectual, social, and spiritual development. For us graduates, this graduation ceremony represents hard work. As such, all the awards will be a mere symbol of what we truly deserve. We also grant you the privilege to keenly scrutinize these young, smart, and good-looking gentlemen who are anxiously standing on the threshold of a good relationship. We therefore invite you to place your bids immediately after the ceremony, as good men, real men, are truly hard to find. One of the first emotions that my colleagues and I experienced on our first day at St. George's College was that of intimidation. We were intimidated by the strict teachers, unfamiliar students, and even the sheer size of our new school. As the weeks and months flew by, we grew accustomed and even fond of it, and began to embrace it as a second home. We made friends and enemies of both teachers and students, and shared good and bad times. Our stay at St. George's College has been a most enlightening one on many levels. The academic challenges were tough, as each year the work got harder, and we needed to study more to keep our grades at a high standard. As you can see, we survived, and have become better students as a result. In terms of extracurricular activities, this school has provided us with a wide variety of sports and clubs to improve ourselves in terms of our skills and hobbies. Physically, there are football, cricket, and tennis, just to name a few. Spiritually, there is an inter-school Christian fellowship, the ISCL. Mentally, there is a chess club, and not to mention the rigorous academic assignments. There are even a few activities that enhance us on many levels, like the cadet corps. The list goes on and on. There is something for everyone to get involved in. Many of us remember Mr. Lawson and his faithful companion Jeremiah, the disciplinary Keynote that prophesied to some of us. We could not, of course, forget Mr. Walker either, whose former position is now held by Mr. Davidson, the Dean of Discipline. There are also a few teachers who have stood out in our minds. These teachers have been prominent in our school lives in many different ways. We, the graduates, would like to recognize our parents and family who are always providing moral support, the same support that has driven us to reach where we are right now. Our parents have not only provided moral support, but also donated time and money to the school and its events. Parents also head and mostly make up the Home School Association, along with a teacher representative that puts on barbecues every year that are consistently supported by families of students. Whether it is book drives or fundraisers, St. George's College receives support from parents and family alike. When the going got tough, our families were always there to encourage us to keep our eyes on the goal, graduation. Much gratitude is also due to our most capable teachers. Our teachers have effectively passed on their knowledge to us through the years and have done their best in preparing us for our examinations. Many have held extra classes for us who did not fully grasp any given concept. Some did not charge us a cent. Most of our teachers have been selfless in helping us in pursuing our endeavors, and for this we are most grateful. At this point, I would like to extend a special greeting to 5 people. Principal, Dr. Fred Kennedy, who has made a great positive change in the operation of the school. Mrs. Valerie Virgo. Mrs. Valerie Virgo, the Vice Principal of Law School, who has guided us for 3 of the 5 years of our stay here. Also, the trio of Mrs. Mullings Douglas, the Vice Principal of Upper School, Mr. Campbell, the 5th Form Supervisor, and Mr. Davidson, the Dean of Students. For sacrificing their precious time to help us develop into the fine young men that stand before you today. I would also like to extend my salutations towards my fellow graduates for all the friendships, the good and bad times, the plotting and scheming, but most importantly, for the overall positive experience at St. George's College. To all those who have had an impact on me, whether slight or great, good or bad, I praise you from the bottom of my heart. The moments we have shared together have been most enlightening and are irreplaceable. I had a lot of fun at this institution and learned a great deal academically, and I hope that coming students will too. As my fellow graduates and I step out into the world, I wish the best of luck to each and every one of them. I truly hope that they achieve all their goals and do so with honesty and integrity, and that they display virtue throughout their lives. I also ask them to maintain or even improve the already admirable reputation that St. George's College has held for these past 155 years. Please keep in mind the St. George's College motto, and do everything to the greater glory of God. Ad majorem Dei Gloria. Thank you, Lord.
Forever I love you, forever.
our hope, our comfort, our peace, our praise. Lift it tonight.
They look fine. Would you give them a hand for me, please, our graduates? It's a tremendous honor to congratulate you as graduates of St. George's College. These are the young men who have met our academic and behavioral requirements for graduation. It's a very special occasion, and it's perhaps, well, it is the most important occasion that we have, event that we have at St. George's College. Father Michael Patera, welcome. And Mr. Douglas Orain, a special welcome to my wife, who's made a special trip out from Canada in honor of these graduates. Members of the Board of Management, Mr. Tony Grant, the President of the Homeschool Association, Mr. Bruce D'Souza, the President of the Old Boys Association, and parents who are very special people today, and friends, and our faculty. And would the faculty stand for me, please, to be recognized? Thank you very much. It is the most important event of the year, the culmination of 5 years of education at St. George's College. And teachers and administrators work for this moment to see the young boys that they taught in, very young boys that they taught in first form, grow into young men, reaching the academic standards. But young men who have also developed a sense of values which will guide them through the rest of their lives. And the Jesuit education is very special. The emphasis is not only on training the mind so that they will always make clear judgments, but on developing the whole person so that they will learn to understand themselves, to respect others, and to treat others with dignity. One big sign of growing into adulthood is when they can step out of themselves, when they can reach out for others and do something good for others. And that is what I hope they have learned here at St. George's. That they will use their talents for others, that they will excel, that they will become leaders in our communities, and they will have the courage always to stand up for what is right. And that you will speak out against social injustices. And God knows in Jamaica we have a lot of those. And that takes the greatest courage of all, I think, is to stand up and say when things are wrong. Out of close to 3 million people in Jamaica, these young men are part of the elite. They have completed secondary school and are prepared to enter pre-university courses. In Jamaica, only 15% of young people their age who are qualified actually get to tertiary education. I hope that they will all beat that statistic, and I'm sure they will. We've turned a major corner here this year at St. George's College. In 2004, the Minot report, which came out and put St. George's College at the bottom of the list for traditional high schools in Jamaica, the news sent shockwaves through the St. George's College community here and abroad. As a result, the staff, the community, everyone rallied together to make a difference this year, to bring back some of the excellence and glory of this institution. Discipline improved, the level of student involvement increased, and I believe academic standards also went up. I trust you're going to see a dramatic increase in CXC passes this year. We're also encouraged by the very high standard of achievement of our grade 7 cohort this year. We have an average class of 89% in mathematics coming in and 87% in language arts. We've made successes because of the tremendous support of all of our stakeholders, parents, old boys here and abroad, large corporate sponsorships, food for the poor, financial and other support from the Society of Jesus, our local community, our faculty who have united in helping to create a culture of excellence, board members and the chairman who have given us 100% support, and you, the students who have bought into our vision for a new school. It's been a truly amazing experience. When we started out the school year in August, I asked the board for a special fund to fix up the campus and to paint everything. And of course, as you remember, no sooner had we opened than Ivan blew through and wrecked everything that we had started. But it didn't take very long. We were able to secure, it took us $5 million to bring things back in several months. But actually, I think the campus looks better now than it did before. So there were blessings in disguise. Not that we want another hurricane, but Ivan did us, in some respects, did us a favor. We started the year off with a high sense of discipline. The Dean of Students was extremely visible, with trained prefects in every homeroom. Standing rain or shine, Mr. Davidson monitored the lunch lines and front gate, inspecting every student who came through the gate. I don't think a boy could come through that front gate without his shoelaces properly tied. So all of that, I think, improved our discipline. We had an extremely low incidence of violent acts and misdemeanors committed by the boys this year. There was a dramatic decrease. And I also attribute much of the security that was established with the presence and work of our school resource officer, Constable Howard Jobson. We ran a very highly successful Safe Schools program this year. With the advice of the Homeschool Association, we made every effort to provide inspirational speakers for our boys at assemblies and at services at the cathedral. Many of our sports teams reached semifinals, including the Manning Cup and under-14 football teams. Our under-14 basketball competed in the finals. We won swimming and polo championships, gold medals at swim meets in Curacao, gold medals at the Penn Relays in the 4x100 large school event in Pennsylvania. Highly successful sports days and inter-house competitions as well, I think, contributed to our school spirit. We funded boys to go to Mexico, Fort Lauderdale, and Curacao to represent Jamaica in water polo. And we had 6 boys to Toronto to represent Jamaica with the National Basketball Association. Under the direction of Mr. Savage, over 20 clubs were in operation, including music and others that won gold medals in the festival, drama, chess, and school challenge. In order to enhance the 5th form program, we ran extra lessons for the boys after school and on Saturdays and provided retreats and student development workshops. There was a dire need for improvement in this area. Last year, only 50% of entries last year in CXC recorded passes. We increased budget allocations to purchase curriculum resources, materials for subjects including English, science, social studies, library, and business subjects. We launched a lot of staff initiatives to boost staff morale and improve instruction. We ran luncheons, get-togethers, team logo days, and professional development workshops. We hired consultants to run management training for our heads of department and form supervisors. We had a bit of a setback at Christmas. When we came back from vacation, we found that there were computers missing, 7 computers stolen from our library, but again it was a blessing in disguise. We rekeyed the whole school, we put alarm systems in place, and we also were able to look about some redundancy and cutbacks in staff. Our campus ministry showed huge strides forward with the introduction of retreats for 4th formers. Mr. Rohan Tulla organized with his team days of recollection, outreach programs, retreats for 5th and 6th formers, and several services of prayer at the cathedral. With the acquisition of our new bus, which we acquired through the funding of the Homeschool Association, Food for the Poor, and the Old Boys Association here and abroad, we were able to accommodate sports, schools excursions, and sport trips that would not otherwise have been possible. The campus is slowly being rebuilt. Winchester Park had become a dust bowl, I think probably by about February or March. Now it's under major reconstruction, and I hope by September it will look like the fair meadow that we sing about in our college song. Emmett Park has been upgraded with installation of new windows, new roofs to the Butler Science buildings, and O'Hare. Major work still needs to be done with the science labs, the canteen, and the O'Hare building. A beautification project is underway, and I hope that you've noticed, a lot of people have noticed, some of the beds and flowers and things are coming back, and they make a tremendous difference to our campus. Information technology has been a huge priority for us. We have purchased new computers for teachers. We have also planning also to invest in another student lab. And next year we will be providing wireless internet and an intranet for the campus. There's nothing really to stop this school forward. We need to all adopt. The whole community needs to adopt a set of core values, a belief of core values that are going to drive our initiatives. We need to believe in respect for each other, and also respect for the environment in which we work. We need to believe also in discipline, self-discipline, I think, and the focus on learning. That, I believe, is one of the only things that's going to drive us forward. And we need to believe in teamwork. All stakeholders need to work together towards a common vision. Otherwise, we can't make this school move forward. Once we have a clear vision of what the optimal conditions of learning are, then we can say to our customers what we want. And what do we want? Here at St. George's College, we want discipline, we want academic standards, we want excellence in sports, we want students involved in co-curriculars, we want a beautiful, well-maintained and equipped buildings and grounds, and we want for your children a safe and nurturing learning environment. And these are the commitments that this administration will make to our community. We have set our basic line targets and are working now with the staff to adopt new initiatives to reach for these new horizons. And it is all possible. We have all the makings of what it takes to be a great school. We have 240 boys coming in this year with an 87% average in GSAT. We have a highly qualified staff, many of whom have master's degrees in their subjects. We have an old boys network, locally and abroad, with fierce loyalty and extreme generosity. We have a state-of-the-art campus. I don't know any other school compound like it in Jamaica. There is none to compare. 35 acres.
our guest speaker, the Honorable Senator Douglas Orrin, specially invited guests, heads of department, senior teachers, members of the academic faculty, members of the administration and ancillary staff, parents, friends, fellow graduates, Georgians all. A good afternoon and welcome to this our graduating ceremony for the class of 2005. Today, I wish to talk to you about a journey of 5 difficult, testing, rigorous, yet enjoyable years at this great institution called St. George's College. In this journey, we've come across moments of many milestones, and we have faced obstacles that had to be overcome to prepare us to advance to the next step. To our parents who have made daily sacrifices so that we can reach this point, you are like our Rock of Gibraltar, never failing, ever sure, constant, a source of strength and encouragement. You who have provided us with the resources we need to tackle our obstacles. You who give without counting the cost. You who brought us here and often threatened to take us out. You who are our solace. You who are our comfort, our mentor, our refuge of strength. We say, look with pride on the men of tomorrow, for you are the authors of this future. To you also we make our pledge, that we will endeavor to be like grapevines around your tables, a source of gratification in your latter years. To you we promise to never let fall the pride and joy you feel at this moment. Let it be written in your hearts and minds that you have been the one that brought us in this stage in our journey. To the administrative staff, the principal and vice principals, this journey could not be possible without you. Take heart in knowing that you too are a part of what we are to be. Your duties have not gone unnoticed, and we say thank you from the deepest reaches of our hearts.
Have a humorous old boy take time out to address the graduating class of St. George's College, but even more so because of the stature and reputation of being a prominent leader in our Jamaican society. He holds a degree in mechanical engineering from Glasgow University and a master's in business administration from the Harvard Business School. He was awarded the Order of Distinction in the rank of Commander by the Government of Jamaica for contribution to commerce and the private sector in August 2002. He has led Grace Kennedy to become one of Jamaica's most successful and most profitable companies. He was also an independent senator appointed by the Government of Jamaica and is a Justice of the Peace married with 3 children. Furthermore, apart from being the great leader that he is, he also lends his active support to the company's programs for inner city residents and youth. Ladies and gentlemen, please join the graduating class in welcoming our guest speaker this evening, Mr. Douglas Roy Orrin.
Good evening, friends. Can you hear me at the back? Good. Well, first of all, to the young man who introduced me, Trevor, I already was going to make fun of me in the introduction, and I presume that refers to me going to Carnival to have a good time. But isn't that what life is about? Having a good time and enjoying each other's company. So maybe it's not a joke, maybe there is a lesson in there that we can explore this evening. Friends, it's wonderful to be here, and I'll tell you the reason why. This is only the second time in my life that I've set foot within St. George's College. Well, yeah, I know there's someone who said, well, you should have come here when you were 11 years old, and you'd be even better off. And you may have a point. But ironically, the first time I came here was last year, October. I came to watch a Manning Cup match when Wolmer's was playing on the field up to the north. And it got me reflecting, how is it that it took me 40 years after I left school to come here? And then I realized the reason why. There are so many things that have changed in the last 40 years. I'll give you two of them. One is that when Wolmer's and St. George's played in the Manning Cup match, we played at Sabina Park. So we never went to each other's schools. The second one that has changed is that, you know, our graduations. I was talking with your headmaster, and he says, "Doug, when you and I graduated, there are no graduations. There were the prize givings. We just sort of, you know, got the certificate and went home." So you're all very, very privileged to be in this position, to be honored this evening. And it's something I'm very heartened at because it shows the importance that each of you places on education. I understand that there are about 120 of you, all of whom are very well qualified academically to go on towards tertiary education. And this represents a tremendous achievement by everyone who was invested in your career. I'm going to ask the audience to join me in a round of applause for these young men. I see some smiles up here, you know, especially the third from the right, from the center. We all know that you have done what you have done in arriving at this point, and it has been the result of a commitment to hard work. We're also aware that you are now at an important juncture in your lives. Now, you have to make the major decision as to the path you will take, which will determine, for the most part, the kind of career you will pursue and the kind of life you can expect to have. Your principal has told me that you're a talented group, and he and I had a short conversation about what can you do with that talent. And here's a very simple suggestion. The way you'll get ahead in life is not only with your talent, but to keep on learning. Life is a learning process. And the people who I have found in my life to be more successful are the ones who have an almost childlike curiosity about the world around them, even when they're 85 years old, still learning and still being successful. So be careful that you never ever say, "I know it all, I know enough." Always say, "What can I learn from the person who is standing in front of me?" St. George's has always been one of Jamaica's premier secondary schools. Over the years, the school has been outstanding in sports as well as in academic achievement. The alumni from the school fill distinguished slots in all fields in Jamaica as well as overseas. What is even more noteworthy is that these old boys, as we tend to call them, form a tight network providing continuing support to the school as well as to the students. And I can vouch for that personally. Last year, at the end of July in 2004, I had the privilege to be at the St. George's Old Boys Association dinner dance in Toronto. Do you know how many people were there? 1,000 people. It is the largest congregation of alumni out of Jamaica in the world. You hold that record. I wish we'll work with you. Graduates of St. George's, including the 120 of you here today, are among the privileged in our society. You've received a strong academic foundation as well as a moral and spiritual grounding second to none in this country. I ask that you bear this in mind as you move to the next level of your current journey. Some of you, probably the majority, are moving on to sixth form to qualify yourselves in the arts and sciences. Beyond this, I'm sure you'll proceed to tertiary education, either in Jamaica or overseas, going on to achieve professional or vocational qualifications of one kind or another. Whatever the future holds, you should remember always that you are among the most privileged in our society. Why do I stress this? Perhaps most of you have heard of the term noblesse oblige. It's French, by the way, which roughly translated means privilege entails responsibility. How should you interpret this in your lives? I'll begin by stressing that you have a responsibility to yourselves, each and every one of you, to do the best that you can at whatever you do. That for all you, the quest for excellence is an imperative. Anything less would be Anything less would be a betrayal of your God-given talent and of the excellent foundation that you have been given by the school. You also have a responsibility to your family, to your community, and to your society. I'm afraid that some people who achieve success tend to forget that far too easily, and that they feel that what they owe to their families, their communities, and this society is nothing. Sometimes some of us begin to believe that what we have achieved is totally the result of our own efforts. Our efforts are important, yes, but believe me, we do not achieve success on our own. Colin Powell was once asked how he attained the success that he did to become the Joint Chiefs of Staff in the United States and then Secretary of State. And his reply was characteristically modest. He says, I climbed on those that went before me. I climbed on the shoulders of those who went before me. So the reason you are able to be where you are today is because of all the Georgians who went before you and have paved that path. Let's take another example. Actually, it's from Calabar, Herb McKinley. He's a first-class example of someone who has fulfilled and continues to fulfill his responsibility to his community and his society. Having made his mark as an outstanding athlete nationally and internationally, he has over the years spent a large amount of time coaching and motivating young athletes throughout the length and breadth of Jamaica. Many now say that they owe a debt of gratitude to her. And many also say that the success our athletes are having today have been significantly assisted by the efforts of her and others who went before them. And any of you have seen her, and maybe some of you have, driving his old Mercedes-Benz full of the young Calabar boys to the next athletic training meet, will know what it means to give back in a very personal way. There's one other example I'd give you of giving back, and that is your own principal, Fred Kennedy. Fred Kennedy is a Georgian. He grew up in Jamaica. He made his life in teaching elsewhere in the world, but he didn't have to be here this year. He could be anywhere else in the world, and yet he made the choice to be here at his school to help rebuild St. George's College. And that's the type of giving. That's the type of giving that I find most touching of all. And that's why I wanted to be here this afternoon, because it's that type of giving that's going to build back Jamaica to be the kind of country that we all yearn for. Thank you, Fred. Abroad for the first time to university, and I sat in that huge class of 250 people in engineering doing first year chemistry. And I looked around the class and I said, but I'm equal to any one of them. In fact, I'm better. So when I came first in the first year, they all said, but where's this little boy from? Going from the Caribbean, almost in disbelief. It is the self-confidence that our own Jamaican society has given to me and to you that is going to carry you forward. And that's why it's so important for you and me to create that advantage for other young people coming behind us. I know that many of you have concerns about whether, having graduated from school,